Tupton Tap.
Hello!
With Ollie, Bird and Charlie, yep.
How we doing? Alright?
There'll be blood, sweat and tears and plenty of beers.
Lovely
So come along and have a chat. It's the Tupton Tap.
It's the Tupton Tap, isn't it?
Hello and welcome back to the Tupton Tap Pubcast. This week it's a little bit different. Lockdown rules have changed and we're now allowed to meet friends, up to 6 of us, in a garden. So, well, we've got a beer garden here. We thought it may as well.
The Tupton Tap.
Yeah, at the Tupton Tap.
Back in the home ground.
So this is the first time we've all seen each
Like I
other
say, it's the
in
first time
person.
we've seen each other since we started lockdown, really, isn't
In
it?
the
It
flesh,
is.
yeah. Like a little family reunion.
It is.
Yeah.
And obviously, for anyone that's just started listening, I'm Charlie, we've got Ollie,
Hello.
and we've got Jack.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello. This is very strange.
This is very weird being here. I've also forgot one thing, boys.
Yeah.
I've got my beer.
We'll have to grab it in a sec.
I'll
it's
grab
no
it now,
worries.
hold on.
That's cool. Well, so
It's disappearing again. Shock.
we've obviously been running by all the appropriate measures. So I've got my tape measure that I think it's been put on the side now, but we've been measuring. All our tables are spread apart.
Everything meticulously.
We've not spoke through each other's microphones. Oh, he's thrown me
Look at
the
that.
tape measure. Anyone on the YouTube video, you can see it here.
You've seen his awesome cash as well.
It's a 3.5 meter Sabre measurement tool. It's great, but basically we're following all the
Other
rules.
brands are available.
Yeah, all
Bondship pending.
Thanks, Al. Yeah, so we've been following all the rules. We've got some sanitizer here. We've been wearing rubber gloves. There's one hanging around somewhere.
Fair, there's about 7 on the floor because Bert keeps chucking on the floor.
Yeah,
keep
we've
chucking
got
on the
some
floor.
lovely
That's littering.
videos of
I threw
Bert
them at
playing
you.
with.
So we've got some lovely videos of Bert. I don't know if you're on YouTube you can see, but we've got some lovely weeds down here, which there were more, but Bert graciously picked them all up for us and
There's-
threw
there's-
them against the fence.
There's never anything we wouldn't
charge
do for the
£10 an hour.
podcast.
I mean, these are a bit shabby, Charles. You could
I
have
know.
painted.
Could have painted.
You
these
see,
benches.
we've had such hot weather. It started basically the paint's coming off the tables. You can hear that.
So yeah.
Oh.
But there.
Lovely sounding.
Yeah, hopefully this is the first podcast together. Hopefully this will be the best one.
And hopefully we can, if the weather stays nice, we can end up being outside all the time.
I mean, you watch. You're
Or if
starting.
they loosen it a bit further, and we can start meeting inside.
That's
Film
it.
Inside the pub.
as long as
safe
lockdown
distance.
rules are allowed.
But yeah, so today's more going to be focused around what we're doing about when the pub's reopening.
Yeah.
It's because things are starting to ease now, and we've got dates set when stuff's happening.
It's nice because we can actually start planning stuff now.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
getting ready to open.
So we've put plans in place for the beer garden. Again, if you're watching the YouTube video, you can see it's not the nicest of beer gardens. It needs a bit of a spruce up. It does the job, but
The thing is, the point that what's quite lucky is we've got that time to spruce it up now. You know what I mean? Because we're in lockdown still, but we have now dates to aim towards to open.
and I think from what the government guidelines are saying, or from rumours, basically they're going to favour pubs that have beer gardens, and
Yeah.
Which is
and
us.
especially if the weather's great, it means we can space all the tables, obviously have people, and then it's easier, innit? It's just
Yeah,
easier.
yeah.
It
The
is.
the transmission rate's lower outdoors as well, so
Yeah.
makes it nicer and safer. But no, I think at the moment it's still a bit of a minefield of we don't know what's quite going on.
Very
Yeah.
much, but at least we know more now than we did even a week ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So.
it's kind of starting to clarify a bit more, but
So I mean, to be fair, me and you, Joe, we had this conversation about a few weeks. It must be like 2-3 weeks ago now, didn't it? About the plans that when we do reopen. To be
Yeah.
honest with you, mate, they were quite close to what the government is saying now.
yeah. So I don't know whether this is a government thing, but I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's like a poster that is like it's like a illustration of a pub, and it's saying what they need to do to be basically in the guidelines and to run it correctly. And most of the stuff on there we've chatted about together and gone.
We've chatted about, but we've got the ball rolling, haven't we?
Yeah. So I think there's some about using an ordering app, and Ollie's having a look into.
Yeah, we're ahead of
Simple.
the field in that, aren't we?
So yeah, so I
Well,
mean
we are,
that's.
man, Ollie.
Well, I guess in some ways, not to our own home, we're quite lucky we have me on the team, boys.
That's it. Yeah.
Indispensable.
Indispensable.
Yeah,
Indispensable.
So I've been working on the application which will allow users to order from their phone. You know,
Yeah.
like in Weatherspoons.
Yeah,
it'd be like that
yeah.
essentially.
Basically like that, and then what the basic idea is you've got the app, you send it through, it comes up in the bar, and then we make him, and then we can send a notification back saying your drinks are ready,
Come
and
get
there'll
'em.
be a
Come
safe
to the bar
location.
and pick it up.
But I think the bar might have to put a table in front of the bar just so it's an actual 2 metre distance. But
And
it'll work.
from what we're aware, we'll I think we'll do, even if we didn't have to, I think we'd do this anyway. But we'll have, luckily in the tap we've got multiple doors, so multiple points of entry. So
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
have one to come into, and then one which will be an outdoor only.
Less crossover.
Just to try, less crossover,
Well,
less congestion, really.
We're lucky in that sense though, because I
We
know
are. We have plenty of
We've
doors
got 3
here,
or
but-
4, haven't we? Really?
Yeah,
We've got the main
we've got-
doors. We've got the fire doors.
Yeah.
But I was on a forum with other pubs, and some pubs are basically saying, well, they won't be able to reopen them because they've got one way in, one way out. And obviously got a fire exit, but the fire
A lot
exit's
of
not
old pubs are like that,
I
aren't
mean,
they?
I
One
mean
in,
that's
one
the
out.
problem. I mean, if you're a microbrew, like a micropub,
so hard.
mate. I mean, let's be
yeah,
honest, with you, you're probably
impossible.
gonna fit 1 or 2 people in there within that 2 meters anyway, and that's it.
Well, yeah, that's it. Like, I think there's in Walton there's a micro pub, and I was chatting. The pizza guy who comes on Fridays here, he also goes to that micro pub.
Mr. P.
And I think
Shout out.
I don't know how they're doing takeouts. I think at the moment on Fridays when
Yeah.
the pizza on the Thursdays, sorry, when the pizza guy comes. But I can imagine a lot of pubs are going to still rely on takeout and people.
I can imagine. I'm not gonna lie, mate, but I can imagine a lot of pubs struggling. I mean, like because I mean, if say we open before another pub, I mean, we're gonna probably take that pub's customer base, because we're open, and it might end up bad for the other pub. Like,
It's about it's
just 'cause it's good for one pub, I mean, it's
Yeah.
good for all.
it's a
Well,
hard
that's
time
it.
to run a pub anyway. You mind with all the stuff, all this stuff as well.
Yeah,
Mm.
but it's good to see the inventiveness of other
Yeah,
like licensees, like finding ways of not bending rules, but in terms
get
of
around
making the best of a bad
yeah,
situation.
definitely. I think in this sort of situation, this climate with coronavirus, you've sort of got to. You know what I mean, you've
Yeah.
got to find ways to move on, I guess. You know what I mean?
Because we've kind of at the Tupton Tap, we've not done the takeout scheme, and we've kind of been we kind of went, let's just wait till we can kind of
Yeah,
get the ball rolling again. And I really admire those pubs that have carried on takeouts. I think it's a
definitely. But I think for
keep
us,
like community spirit.
it just wasn't viable for us to do it for many reasons.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and kind of the list is too long.
Yeah, so this is too long and too in depth to go into in this podcast.
But I'm excited. I'm very excited to. You can see it on the horizon now.
Yeah,
I'm hoping.
very
Yeah,
much.
it's like there's a
I-
light at the end of the
and what
tunnel
is
now.
nice is we can now do this. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I can't get close to you, but I don't mind.
Can't give you a kiss and a hug.
but because it doesn't matter. But
Um,
I think just in general, the whole is getting just to be easier just to be able to live.
Normal life.
Yeah.
But I think even though it's great that the pub may be reopening in the next, I don't know, like month or two, we need to remember that it's all about safety at the end of the day.
Of course it is. Of course.
I'll never do anything if I
We're
think it's
not-
going to compromise the
say,
safety of
one thing
anyone.
we're not going to do is put not only our staff at risk, but our customers definitely not.
Oh yeah, because we like to promote the idea of community around here.
Of course we do.
And the last thing I want to do is
Well,
kind of
that's
destroy
it.
it by making people ill. I don't know
Yeah.
what I mean. Like,
I mean, that's the only reason we're here at the end of the day is because of our community. So the last thing we
Definitely.
want to do is get them or ill or put them in danger at all. So
it's not very community spirit, is
it's
it?
not, no.
Just kill all our customers off.
Yeah.
That's it. But I've been seeing some great stuff though. Like I was talking to you guys just before we started, saying about this micro pub in Sheffield on what's the road? Ecclesall Road, called Two Thirds Beer Co.
Yeah.
And they've been doing like beer bundles. So they've
Oh,
got
yeah.
beer on tap and stuff, but then they do bundles, which is cans and bottles. And obviously with the whole Dominic Cummings thing that's happened in the past week or two, they've released a bundle called the Dominic Cummings bundle, and it's basically any beer that you could have potentially picked up between number 10 Downing Street and what's the castle called? Is it
Barnard.
Barnard Castle? Yeah.
Is it Barnard? I think it's Barnard.
And basically I think you've got stuff like your Thornbridges in there. What's that beer that we tried last week?
North Brewing Co.
That-
I think that was on there.
Oh, was
Yeah.
that the week before? No.
That was last week. That was
Crate Brew.
Crate
Crate
Brewery.
Brewery. I think the Crate Brewery was on it, and then I think we had the beer factories on there. So that it was just quite funny, and I think that again that's the idea of like the inventiveness of, like,
I saw.
of it all.
I sent you this guy's link earlier, but Alan and Heath is it?
Oh yeah.
They make
mixers and all that.
mixers for mainly live. Is it mainly live? They must do studio mixers as well.
Yeah.
So audio mix essentially. And what they're doing is, I think they're German anyway, aren't they? And
I
what
ain't got a
they're
clue, I'm
doing
crap
is
with this sort of stuff.
they're essentially hosting gigs outside. So you got like the big stage like you would at like a festival, but it's a driving gig. So you go in your car, you park in this essentially what's a space, a parking space, and you
okay.
sit there with your windows down and listen to watch the
Like
gig.
like
idea,
when
that.
they used to like drive-in
Yeah,
movies in
driving.
America and stuff.
That could be the way
That's
it's
a good
going as
idea.
well. I've also seen a video on Facebook, so maybe not the most reliable source, but people were like it was like a rave, but they'd like done a 2 metre squares, and everyone was dancing like in the middle of the squares.
Yeah.
But obviously
That's
one person
cool.
per square. I thought this was quite funny, but
Have you seen the dude driving around with the big big speakers on the roof of his car playing like tunes?
no,
I
where's
think
that?
it's more of a Sherlin thing. I've been seeing videos and stuff of it. And there's a dude driving around in a car with a big speaker on the top of his car, like a big comically large horn thing, playing tunes out of it, just driving around.
I think
stuff like that I find brilliant.
that is what I'm loving at the moment, is the inventiveness of people.
Yeah.
That just annoy me.
Ollie the
like-
Grunch.
You're just trying to get to sleep.
Like, I'm probably at stuff for this, but so on at VE Day, right? There's
Yeah.
a guy down the road from me.
But obviously V-Day is a great
I
celebration.
agree, it's a great celebration, but he had a massive.
It sounds like you're going to start slagging off VE Day then.
Mate. It was a
Don't be doing
really,
that,
really
Al.
nice day. A really nice day to see the community get together. But this guy's had this massive massive PA speaker, one of these plastic cardboard cabinet ones, and it's like there, and it blasting out tunes. It was clipping like I don't know what, mate. It was distorted. It sounded awful. it
You
was
were
rattling.
more angry at the audio quality, not
yeah,
the
yeah.
actual
No, mate.
person. That you're like, he's definitely not using Alan Heath mixer. He's not. He's definitely done a Charlie on the Harry Line podcast where it was
Oh yeah,
clipping
where he
like
had his
mental.
gains too high. Yeah, nice and Charles.
That was bad.
Oh.
I
But
do.
no,
I do still
It
apologise
just
for that.
annoying me because all from my house can hear is. You know what I mean? Oh, it's
A
just
bit of white noise.
it's a bit of white noise, boys.
Get to sleep at night.
Yeah.
Can't beat it, can you?
But no, and he was playing like very old-fashioned music, which I didn't mind as much. But the fact that it was clipping unbelievable amounts and rattling all over the place, it was just annoying me.
Just ruin the experience for you.
Well, honestly, I was about to get my PA system set up outside and just give him a bit of a run for his money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you could get him out of business.
Stuff like that. I painted my speaker stands yesterday, boys.
That's it. Breaking news, guys.
Breaking
Ollie
news. I
has
painted those speakers. I made them probably 5 weeks ago now, and then only
How
just got around to
boring is
painting.
life when Ollie painting speaker sounds is breaking
This is what the
news.
pubcast has come to. Ollie talks about.
Mate,
Speaker
there's nothing
sounds.
else to do. I mean, making speaker sounds is all I can do.
Built a log store we did at home.
Did you a log
Yeah,
store? Very nice.
built an
Very
old
nice.
log store. Well, my dad did. I stood there and told him.
So
to
we're looking
do
at a different
stuff,
angle
and then
now.
he
We're
told
looking
me to
at
F off.
not the creativity of pubs in COVID-19. We're looking at the creativity of
In
the
general.
bar staff now.
And we've figured it's significantly lower.
Definitely lower. I think, and talking about creativity, I've been having some thoughts in the past week. I think I'm going to make a beer. I think I'm going to.
Yeah, no,
Start
we
brewing.
talked about this.
I-
So what homebrew are you going to to make them?
I don't know.
Is
I
this
hate
how,
that
on
word.
what scale are we talking here? Like,
I'm-
Innit?
I'm-
Are we-
I'm
are we-
not-
are
I'm
we
not going.
talking 6 gallon or what?
I'm talking maybe like about 5 gallon.
5 gallon.
No, so no, I'm talking about homebrew scale, but
Okay.
just but enough to get about like 50 bottles or
But
something.
are you going to do the thing where you buy one of those kits, or are you
No,
going to do
no,
it
no.
yourself? Good.
So I've done one of those before, and
Don't. I hate them.
I'd rather make my own. So I would like
Mate.
to mix the grains and basically get it all and know what I'm putting in it.
I'm not going to. So I'm not going to feel bad for this, but there was you probably get. I always just get people in the pub when you're seeing people. You give them a beer, they'd sip it, try it, ooh, that tastes right like my homebrew. That does. Like, yeah, sound
it
mate, cheers.
really?
Yeah, he goes,
Maybe it
oh
is.
mate, my homebrew. He's like, yeah, did you buy one of those kits? Goes, yeah, well,
it's not a homebrew, really.
it's not really homebrew, is it? Like, yeah, you brew it from homebrew. It's like you're not
Don't.
choosing
put-
each part of the beer.
I can't believe you're doing this, Ollie. You're putting home brewers down.
No, if you want a homebrew, fair play, but do it right.
says the expert
Savage.
over it.
Coming from the only one who doesn't like beer.
Mate, I'm not being
Yeah.
funny. I could not brew it either.
So-
I couldn't brew it.
So
I'd
back
be
to
awful.
your question on what I was going to do, like what
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, go on,
start,
carry on.
just to pull it back, rein it in
Yeah,
a bit.
my bad. Sorry.
As I spoke about before, I do like fruity beers. I like my cider, but I can't handle it. But I love beer, so I want to put fruit in it. I've also seen that a French saison is the easiest one to start with.
So what's your French saison then?
It's basically like a French barn beer. That's where it originated from.
Right.
It's very simple to make. Again, I'm still looking to it, so I don't know. I'm not the expert yet. However, I might start with that because it's simple. It'll just be a simple beer. But then I like the idea of like trying. I was looking at a lot of like juicy, fruity beers,
Yeah.
basically. Right then, so it's time for our weekly beer segment. And this week behind me, I've got a Hawaiian shirt. Anyone on Spotify, iTunes won't see it, but I'll make a little crispy noise for you.
Just imagine Charlie in a Hawaiian shirt.
Very
and then
flowery.
you have imagined what you can see.
Yes.
We've got a tractor going
I do
past.
apologise for any of you can hear a tractor going past.
Yeah.
We are next to
It's all part of the vibe.
two
We're
rounds.
It's all
outside.
part of the fun.
Oh, I can't get it on.
So this week we are trying. I don't know if Charlie's mentioned.
No, I've not. I gave a hint.
Okay, so the hint was a Hawaiian shirt, which brings us swiftly on into the beer, which is called Hawaiian Shirt by Ashley Brewery.
Bit of a strong hint.
It's our local brewery.
Just down the road, actually. Just down
Great
the road.
one.
Yeah. They do great beer, and
They
I
do
thought
very good beer.
we did actually.
And they're very friendly people as well. might
Very
we add.
friendly people, and they are serving. You can buy beer from it in this whole pandemic, but very safely. So we did actually do a beer review from Ashover with Harry on
First time.
We
on
did.
the podcast, on the famous podcast that never was.
So yeah,
And it was
for anybody who may have not caught the last one where we discussed this, the first trial of trying to record the episode 2 was it?
Yeah.
yes,
Of the podcast.
that's correct.
Went horribly wrong. Tried to go and then didn't record his audio. It did, but it didn't work properly. So we did another one, which means I've got, because I weren't there, I've still got that beer.
All right,
Went to view.
I'll
And
have
that
to bring it on.
And that first one was an Ashover beer.
It was a International Women's Day collaboration brew.
Very
What?
nice as well.
Ostara. Lovely.
So we're going
But-
back to Ashover Brewery.
Let's stop talking about that. Let's talk about Hawaiian Shirt.
Let's talk about Hawaiian Shirt.
He's been made for the head brewer's father, who is a director at Ashover Brewery.
Yeah, so what's the backstory behind it then?
So he's famous for wearing Hawaiian shirts. If you see him, he's probably wearing a Hawaiian shirt. Good old Roy. And every year, Janine's sister, and obviously Roy's other daughter, they have a Hawaiian shirt day at their pub.
What's that pub called?
It's still evading me. We'll check that out before. I'm trying to remember it. I can probably search it and I probably can find it.
Don't.
I can see the pub, I can see the sign, but I don't know what the sign says.
So this is Charlie, the loyal customer, who can't remember the pub's name.
No. Great pub though, and when I do remember it, I will say it on this.
Is it a
podcast.
very generic pub name? Like the Red Lion?
No, it's nothing like that. It's like a good name. It's a great name.
Is it something good like the Tupton Tap?
Little low blow there.
I'm gonna look now. I'm using the old faithful Facebook.
This is awful because now I'm sat here awkwardly because
I've just cheated. I've just taken a
Well, if you
little
want to start
sip.
pouring your beers out, make sure you got a.
I'm
I'm I've just taken a little sip. I'm cheating a little bit.
That's it. I've got the name. The Arkwright Arms. They have a
Ah,
Hawaiian
right,
shirt
yeah.
day.
Oh, is that Arkwright? Where is that?
It's in Arkwright.
An Arkwright, Ollie.
Where is Arkwright?
Good question. It's near Bolsover.
Yes, I drive past that pub on the way to work.
Oh,
Oh, there we go.
pop in for a pint. I'll
I remember driving past it and reading it and thinking, I swear we've talked about that in the pub before, and it's there.
They do a great pint.
So nice. To be honest with you, I might drop in there after I go to work now.
It might be worth when the pubs are open. Might be worth a
Yeah.
tap day out.
And I think we should go on the Hawaiian shirt day. That'd
Yeah.
be great.
I think that'd be brilliant.
And what day is that? Out of curiosity, do you know?
I don't know. Obviously, at the moment in
keep-
time, it's
I'd-
very.
I'm pestered.
I think it's on the 1st of July every year.
So might just make it in.
I don't reckon we will.
I don't recall. But anyway, should we give this beer a try?
Let's
Let's
give
go.
it a
We're
try.
talking about it, but we're not actually trying
it's
it.
not, what kind of beer is it, Charlie? I'll let
So
you
this is
describe
a
it.
fruity pale ale, and I'd probably say it's a session pale ale
A
because it's
session.
3.7%.
That's very session.
Very nice.
And the bottle is a lovely. Obviously, it's the Ashover emblem that they always have, but it's a Hawaiian shirt pattern. Lovely.
If
And
we
it says, "Please enjoy responsibly," which is correct.
where does it say that?
Perfect for a day like today. This
And
nice, fruity,
bottle conditioned beer. This is.
refreshing. So we've had a tractor now. Now we've got motorbikes.
Yeah,
You're getting the full.
These are not sound effects. This is real
Yeah,
life.
so these-
This is Ollie just pretending.
It's just me in the editing booth, pressing buttons.
So
So let's give it a go.
I'm getting some really big citrusy hits on this.
very fruity bit.
very
it
fruity,
smells
very
like
citrusy.
what I would call like it just reminds me of a pub. You know, it's like sweet.
Like it's
beer
like classic
smell.
beer.
Yeah.
It's a lovely smell. It's a lovely taste as well. It's really fruity, really refreshing. It's perfect for a
See
warm
what we
day
can-
like this.
Yeah. Mine has warmed up a little bit in the sun, to be honest. I'll be
Mm.
honest with you. But it's still a great beer, so it's standing that test.
I agree. I can imagine it being a great beer for people like real ale, but for me personally, I don't like real ale, so
Shock.
I would give it. I don't know what we say now. What
We'll do scores in a
We'll do
minute.
scores then. We'll do scores in a
So
minute.
I've got a little secret at this beer because this is my favourite Ashover beer.
Oh,
at the moment.
okay. Well,
Um,
personally, I think it's a good beer, but it's not for me.
Not for you.
Not for me.
I'm loving it. As I said, it's my favourite beer. I go down every Friday and I grab some, and this is always on the list. I'm like, I'll have a few sensible ones of those.
I've only ever tried it a few times when we've had it in the pub, but it's better.
great.
I'm honest, it's better than I remember. I remember it being nice, but it's a lot nicer than I even remember.
Is it because it's
Probably
a hot day?
Probably the hot day that time of
That
year.
always
perfect
happens.
for it.
Yeah,
Definitely. So you liking it, but you on a mad one for it?
I'm a fan. I could have
Good stuff.
I could have a very healthy session on that. I think.
A responsible
Responsibly,
session,
obviously.
And I'm guessing this is what Roy likes. I'm guessing he likes beer like this.
I hope Roy, the
You'd
Hawaiian
assume
shit
so,
guy,
wouldn't you?
actually likes
Named
it.
after him, you assume
Can you
he'd like
imagine
it.
if he hates it?
Nice.
I only drink
I put some mouthwash in before we started this. I don't know why. So it's very zingy at the moment, but
But you know you normally like it.
But yeah. So go on.
Excuse
If we're
me,
going on a
my
score for
weekly
this,
burp every time I try my beer.
Go on then, Bert.
Stop
Have
that
a
mic.
score.
For me, I think it's a strong one this week. I'm going to give it just because we're still only in episode 4, I'm going to give it an 8.5. But I probably would have been a 9. It's been
pretty
a
high,
bit
that.
stingy. Yeah.
I'm gonna go for a 9 just because I know I really like this beer. And like, if it's any pub I ever went to, I'd be like, I'm having that.
What we need to do? We'll go for mine first. I'm gonna give it I'm gonna give it a 4.
That for an Ollie, that's a
This
strong
is nothing
score.
I
against.
feel like Ollie should be out of 5.
Yeah, I agree. This made this very quick. It's nothing against Asher Brewery or anything. They do very good beer. It's just that I don't like beer.
Only time we ever getting over a 5 from Ollie is if it's a cider.
Yeah, or if it's like
Pop.
yeah, if it's the
Cheers.
fruitiest
No,
beer.
I
ever.
like my rums.
I reckon we should get some of
We
those,
should branch out. We should
What
bring
I
just
think, like, so
alcohol on.
This is what I was thinking, right?
responsibly.
This is what I was thinking is that what we should do like a comparison. So we get like a maybe whether it be like a cheaper like say whiskey or whatever, and then we get more
nice
expensive whiskey, and we compare the two.
Even though none of us are whiskey connoisseurs.
No,
I do like whiskey, but I'm not a
maybe-
connoisseur.
The
no,
Idiot's
nowhere
Guide
near.
to Whiskey.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be
Maybe.
funny though, I think.
Maybe.
The thing is, I think when you talk about whiskey,
When you talk about
Risky.
risky,
when you talk
whiskey.
about whiskey, it's a bit of a minefield. 'Cause you always get people sort of shouting you out a bit, saying, "Oh, that's wrong." I don't know about
Yeah,
you.
there's a-
Maybe
there's
it's
a
'cause I
lot
don't
of
know anything about
people-
whiskey. But I think you've got to know a lot about it to be able to talk about it sometimes because people.
it's like
do
with
correct
wine,
you.
isn't it? If you're not a wine connoisseur and you try and talk about wine, you just end up looking a tit, don't
I
you?
think it's like anything in life. If you talk about something you have no idea about, you look a bit of an idiot.
Well, I think we should put a
Disclaimer.
out there. We're not claiming to be experts. We're
Oh,
your
we're not
average
experts.
Joe.
We
Your
are.
average Joe.
But my
trying the
name's not
average
Joe.
beer, the average wine.
My name's
So,
Charlie.
What we should start doing, we should do a leaderboard.
Definitely.
You know on like Top Gear where you have like the metal shirts.
Yeah.
We should do something like that.
But is it a
That'd be great.
competition then?
Yes.
No.
We
We've
are
had-
rating it out of 10, so yes, it's a competition.
Yeah, technically, I get what you mean. So well,
Obviously,
this
mine,
one's already high anyway. Then.
mine
This
is
is the
all gonna
highest
be like
scoring beer I've
4s.
done.
Yeah. I think this is the best beer we've tried so far. It's the
I agree.
highest on the list, definitely.
I agree.
I think what we should do for Ollie is, I think the way we get the highest score out of him is, you get those Fruity beers and like strawberry beers, Belgian beers.
yeah.
You'd like them.
I don't like them.
Oh, do you not? All
Yeah,
right.
No.
I'm wrong.
I had one in mind as well, the cherry one that you can get in most supermarkets. Is it Backhouse, something like that?
Yeah.
Cherry Backhouse, that's
Yeah,
nice.
it's like wrapped in a
Yeah. Oh, we could maybe get Ollie on that. That's a
Yeah.
bit fruity.
So to round this section off, if someone went to you, right, fancy a drink tonight, guys? I'm going out for only a couple. What would you recommend? Would you go yay for Hawaiian shit or nay?
If you like.
I want yay or nay,
Lemon.
mate.
Oh, this
I'd
is
say
the
yes.
same
This is
every
every
week. If you like beer, yes. If you don't like
Yeah,
beer,
like,
no.
Every
That's
week,
what he says.
every week we come into the same problem is that if someone goes to me, would you like a Hawaiian shirt? I would say no, thank you, because I don't like beer.
Okay.
But if someone goes, I don't know. I don't know. If you
So
like
Ollie's a
beer,
nay. Let's just say Ollie's a nay.
Yeah, Ollie's a nay.
No.
What are you on, Jay?
I'm a definite yay.
Cool. And I'm on a yay too. A good old yay.
So well, I've forgotten the word. In
In.
Hawaiian shirt's a good beer,
Definitely.
and you should try it. Get yourself
Definitely.
down to Ashover Brewery.
Good stuff.
So,
Right then.
I'm going to carry on drinking it 'cause
Yes,
it's very
me
nice.
too.
what? So should we move on to our next segment, which is general chit chat?
General, this is just like the first
Official
segment.
name.
Which is
So no,
general
because the first thing we
chit-chat.
talked about the pub, I guess. So what have we all been up to? Like, have we got any funny stories from this week?
I've had a quieter week than I did last week.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I've actually, my suntan's got even better.
The
though.
beer's got me throat.
We're getting worse in some ways.
You're less red now.
Yeah,
less
You're
red.
like a
your
little
face
squishy.
is less red.
I'm a lot more brown.
Anybody who saw the was it the last one or the one before? It had a very it was Harry's one.
I think it was one with Harry. Yeah,
I had a
again.
hairline.
Episode
yeah,
2.
Yeah.
Because what I've been doing, I've been wearing a cap all day, and then it just made like a line.
And to go back into you can't see it on the YouTube either, but I'm currently staring at Charlie's new van,
Ah yes.
Oh yeah.
We need to speak about this last week.
looping back into
It still works, guys.
what the plan is. Oh,
Oh, another bike.
loud motorbike.
Listen
the
to that
plan is-
engine.
The plan is when the coronavirus is over, we're gonna record a whole podcast in the van.
That would be funny.
In the back of the van.
And what we'll do is all strap in and then we'll drive around.
We'll drive around. We'll drive at 110 down a country road and overtake Aston Martin.
On-site interviews. We'll open the door. What have you got to say about this?
And what we'll do is we'll put a massive obnoxious satellite dish on the top of the roof.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually do anything.
And then put Tupton Tap TV on the side.
Yeah.
We could go on a tour in it, couldn't we? Do a podcast at every pub in the area, and we'll all go in Charlie's van.
The UK's top 10 pubs.
Yeah.
We drive around.
Yeah,
we'll have to get someone else to drive though.
There's bound to be a pub like somewhere like in like the top of Scotland or something. I just take the absolute mick to get up there.
You have to take a helicopter up there.
I have been to the world's highest pub. It is called. Deary me, I'm terrible with pub names.
You've lost it, mate. You're losing it.
I'm losing my knack. It's called Tan Hill Inn. There you go. It came to me. I did the coast to coast when I was younger. It's where you go from one side of the coast to the other side of the coast. And you always have to stop at Tan Hill Inn because it's a landmark.
Yeah,
and
it is quite interesting.
It's very windy up there.
Is it?
Very.
I can imagine.
I wasn't old enough to drink those, so I couldn't try any of the delectable beers.
How do you get there? Is it like on the top of a mountain and you have to trek up to it, or can you actually get there by road?
Imagine trying to get a delivery to that bit. How do you reckon that'd work?
Good point. You've got donkeys trekking barrels uphill.
You'll be glad to know that there is a road up to Tan Hill Inn.
Right,
it's a very windy road, but it's a road nonetheless. There's a campsite at the bottom, or you can, if you really want to, go up to the top of Tan Hill and camp or stay in one of their lovely lodges.
Oh, nice.
Our lodge, we stayed in a lodge room at the top of there, and the window had broken, and it was a very windy night, and it just kept blowing open.
Oh no!
So handy duct tape came in. But
what's the worst holidays you've ever been on?
It's a good one, that, isn't it?
Worst holiday.
I'm not very cultured. I don't really travel too much, so I've not really been on any like notably. Actually, no, that's a lie. I've been on to one notably bad holiday.
See, I don't think I've had a terrible holiday.
Had a bad holiday, I don't think.
Because it's always, I think if you go away in the UK, you normally would have one of those holidays where it's just been raining the whole time.
Yeah.
And that's so my worst. We went to like a static caravan, and I think it was like Devon or something. And the first 2 days, mate, beautiful, lovely like this. Then the next like 3 days after, it was so windy and rainy. We sat in the caravan, it was boring, so I think we went home 2 days early.
Oh.
That is probably the worst one I've been
You
on.
bailed on your holiday?
Yeah, because it's not a holiday, innit, when it's absolutely tipping down outside and you're sat in a static caravan.
I don't think any holiday is bad per se.
Yeah,
to get some time off.
Mate, you've probably been to like Spain like every year or something.
No.
Really?
My first holiday last year, and that was the first one in like 4 years.
I've not had one in 4 or 5 years now.
Look how hard done to. We are first world problems.
So if you'd like to donate to Ollie's holiday fund.
Just give in holiday fund.
I keep saying that I'm going to go on holiday with my girlfriend, but coronavirus came round. I do have a girlfriend, but coronavirus came round, and obviously we couldn't really go. So
it is what it is, isn't it?
Also, shout out to Georgina. She's a regular listener on the podcast.
I think I've just got a
I
fly.
didn't approve that one.
On my nose.
I didn't approve that shout out.
Did you not approve that shout out? So I'll take that shout out back.
I think a fly is literally just gone up my nostril.
I was running the other day and I inhaled a fly.
No, the shocking bit is you were running.
Yeah,
I don't know what's more.
I was running for a reason. I wasn't just running. I'm not one of them.
I've got this feeling that I'm starting to burn up now, guys. I'm getting there. I thought I had a great time, but I think I'm going to start burning up.
Alright, well, what are you saying about bad holidays then? You've never had one?
No, never had a bad holiday.
I
I've been loads of good ones.
Best of a bad situation on.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think you've just not been out in the UK enough, to be honest with you. I think you're bound to have a shit holiday when you go in the UK.
Some of the worst holidays I've been on, well, you know what I mean? Some of the best holidays I've been on have been from shit things, like it's rained all the time, which ended up in a pub pissed up.
Yeah, I think, you know, remember, my family's quite boring. Like, we don't go and get pissed up. So we'll just sit inside doing nothing.
The language has really jumped up in the past 5 minutes.
Sorry,
It's just beer.
It's that beer. It's gone to my head. But no. Yeah, so great segment. Cheers, guys.
I'd say, Ollie, not really. I'm kind of a bit. I like to look at the positives in life.
Great.
If it's raining, free shower.
Bit chilly though, isn't it?
Bit chilly. But you know what? I think we may have to retreat to the shade soon. I think we might have to.
Charlie, man, I think you're just a bit of a lightweight.
I am.
I'm loving it. Honestly, I'm loving it.
Yeah. Right then, so I think we better start wrapping this up now. I think we're starting to we're losing our knack. We're losing,
Aye,
we're losing
aye.
the
I think that's
spirit.
part of the podcast here, is rambling.
We are, we're rambling.
But we are getting very close to the time that we are going to have to go.
We
I'm
are.
gonna have another 16 beers.
Responsibly.
No,
Responsibly drink.
On that note, so I've been Charlie. We've had,
Ollie, thank you very much.
and we've had
Bert.
Bertington and Ollington.
Bertington and Ollington.
Charlington.
And Charlie.
If you fancy listening to any of the other podcasts, they're all right below. You can just see them all. Go on our
Spotify,
pages.
YouTube, Apple Music.
All that good
we are
stuff.
still learning, so if there's problems with a podcast, just ignore it.
Yeah, don't tell
We'll
us.
try and rectify
We're
it.
already crying about it.
We're very self-conscious here.
If you've enjoyed, drop us a like. Tell your
Subscribe.
friends. Subscribe. and all that
Tell
jazz.
your nan. I bet your nan would love this podcast.
Yeah.
Just tell anybody.
Yeah, to anyone. Just
Spread the
shout
love.
share
it.
it.
Spread the love.
Get that guy who goes around Sherland with his speakers.
Should we,
And we
should
get
we
to put it
pay
over that.
for
Put
a
it
paid
over the top.
promotion?
No, we'll just play the whole podcast through his speakers.
That is a
around
right
Sherland.
idea, actually. Yeah.
Might work that. But anyway, so we've been this has been the Tupton Tap Pubcast.
This has been in the Tupton Tap grounds as well.
For
Yes.
the first time.
The first time.
Hopefully we'll see you again from here next week, but weather dependent.
If you ever want to just have a pop round, well, obviously social distance wise, we're always recording around midday on a Sunday.
So yeah, that's a good point. So if you do want to join in and it's a nice day, come about midday on a Sunday.
We'll set up another microphone. You can do it over the wall.
Yeah, you can come and have a chat with us.
That's it.
Yeah,
And then
That'd
12
be
o'clock,
actually a
aren't
really
we?
nice
About
idea.
12
we
o'clock.
can all be involved, and it can
And
be
we'll-
the community coming back
And
again.
we get someone who comes and robs all our equipment.
Yeah, someone might come and steal the microphone, but that's a story to
Part
tell.
of the fun, isn't it? Part of
Look
the
at the bright side, and that's what we need to take away from today.
All right then.
If it's raining, it's a free shower. If
Yeah.
someone nicks your mic, it's a story to tell.
All right.
Anyway, so
On that note, thank you very much for
Cheers,
listening,
guys.
and we'll speak to you all next
Bye-bye.
week. Take care.
laters.
Cheers.